Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Andrew Burnett Show. Our guest this afternoon is a country music singer-songwriter, having 21 number one hits on the charts and is ranked among the top 100 country artists of all time. Will you help me welcome my good friend, TG Sheppard? How are you doing today?
I'm fine, Andrew. Wow, what an introduction there. Gosh, that's very kind of you. It's good to see you.
It's good to see you. So many may or may not know, I was just sitting listening to the awesome king of rock and roll, Elvis Presley. Many may not know that you had a close friendship with him. Tell us how that friendship came about.
Well, I met Elvis when I was like 15 years old, Andrew. I was a runaway at the age of 15 to go chase this dream that God has let me catch. And I wound up in Memphis, and I was at a skating rink late one night, and I thought they were closing the rink down, and it was about midnight, 1 a.m., and a couple of Cadillacs pull up, and I'm standing out front, and Elvis gets out from behind the lead car. He loved to drive himself. He was behind the wheel and walked over to me and invited me inside to skate with him for 3 or 4 hours, and I did. And afterwards, we went back up to Graceland and had the famous peanut butter banana sandwich. And I met him that way, and it was a friendship that started when I was 15, and it lasted until the day he passed.
Wow. So, what would be some memorable experiences that you've had with Elvis through the years?
Oh, wow, there's so many. I could fill a book with all of them. I guess some of the most memorable was just the times that we would be hanging around the house at Graceland. Um, he was quite a homebody. He loved his home at Graceland, and we would sit around, watch TV, or just have conversations like you and I are having now. And it was a very low key, laid back kind of evenings at Graceland or days at Graceland. And sometimes we would go to the Memphian Theater, and those were always memorable because when Elvis did something, Andrew, he did it in a big way because he was bigger than life. So when we would go to see the movies, he would rent out the whole movie theater for like 10 of us, and we had the
Wow.
run of the whole movie. And so those were great memories. Being on tour with him when I was a record executive at RCA, those were fun days on the comeback tour in the late 60s, early 70s. And of course, being in Las Vegas with him when he would perform at the International Hotel back then was always fun. So those were just a few times that when I would be with him, that was always fun.
So, take us to the day when you heard the news that he passed away. What emotions really just flooded through your mind?
It was, we all remember where we were on certain days in history. Uh, I had just left him that night before at Graceland. They were packing up, getting ready to get on the Lisa Marie the next day to start the tour. And we were in the racquetball court, and we spent a few hours together. And then I left to go back to Nashville because my career was already underway. And I get a phone call from J.D. Sumner of the Stamps Quartet, and J.D. never called me. And I knew something was wrong when my secretary said, J.D. Sumner's on the phone. I knew something horrible had happened. And sure enough, I got on the phone and I said, this is not good, is it? And he said, no, he's left us. He was calling to tell me that because he knew that because of my relationship with Elvis, us being friends, that people would be calling to get quotes. So it was a very horrific day, but I had just gotten back to Nashville that morning early and got the phone call that he had passed.
Wow. So, you recently debuted a new song on Huckabee, and I'm telling you what, I had a chance to watch that performance and it was amazing. Share with us a little bit about that.
Well, you're talking about I'm a Song?
Yes, sir.
Well, we've lost so many great performers this past year who just happened to be dear friends of mine, like Joe Diffie and Kenny Rogers and Charlie Pride and Charlie Daniels and Mac Davis. God, Mac was one of my closest and dearest friends, and KT Oslin. And I felt that this song is speaking to us now. The song is coming from the song's perspective, that long after the performer or the singer leaves, the music stays with us and it's here forever. And I just felt it was appropriate time, with being crushed with the loss of so many friends this past year. It was just time for this song to come out from the Midnight in Memphis album, and the new single is called I'm a Song.
Wow. So who did you have in mind when you picked the song out?
Well, I had Elvis in mind, Johnny Cash. I mean, Johnny Cash's old home place is right down the street here from Kelly and I's house in Hendersonville, a suburb of Nashville. Gosh, Roy Orbison. I was a big Roy Orbison fan, and Charlie Rich. I had a lot of people in mind when I recorded this song that I knew through the years, but we've still got their Waylon. Waylon was one of the reasons I got into being to be a country singer. Waylon Jennings encouraged me to become a singer. So, but their music still is with us. And so that's a few of the people that I had in mind that went on before the ones that we've lost this past year.
So most recently, you signed a deal with Time Life to reissue 9 of your legendary albums. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, a lot of my albums never did make it to the digital platform, because it was so long ago. And Time Life came to me to do a contract with them for 8 albums. So I picked the 8 of the biggest albums that I had. I think we have a total of 50 albums total in our career, with remakes and reissues of greatest hits packages. And then Kelly and I had an album called Iconic Duets that she and I had done, Kelly Lang, and we included that in the deal. So it was an honor to hook up with them, because Time Life, their fingers run so deep in the digital world, and I felt like that I would be able to reach more people through them. So it's a real great honor to be with him now.
So throughout the years of you being on the road, what would be one memorable experience that will always stick out to you the most?
Oh, gosh, there's so many of them, Andrew. I think that playing the White House for the president, I was able to play for President Reagan at the White House. I was able to play for President Bush, 41. And it was always an honor to play the White House. But then again, another exciting time was when the first time that I headlined in Las Vegas. I rode down the Strip and I saw names like, huge names. Tony Bennett and, Wayne Newton. There was so many big artists, Roy Clark. And then all of a sudden, see my name on the marquee at the Desert Inn headlining was a very magical thing to happen in my career. So the White House and Las Vegas are 2 that stick out more than any other.
So what's coming up for TG Sheppard in 2021?
Well, hopefully we're going to get back on the road again, because it's been very difficult, to navigate your career through COVID. Everything is just shut down. We're starting to venture back out again with touring, and anybody who wants to keep up with our tour schedule, then go to tgsheppard.com. You can also get the new album there, and I'll autograph it for you and get it back to you. Or follow us on social media, on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook. But hopefully just a continuation of what I was doing before COVID, get back on the road and do some shows with Kelly, and then do my own touring. I have my own radio show on Sirius XM Elvis Radio every Friday from 2 to 6 p.m. Central, the TG Sheppard Show. And so that I have continued that with another contract to stay on there with my show on Sirius XM. So that's a lot of fun. So hopefully just a continuation of what I've been doing, and get back out there and sing for the friends and neighbors, and hopefully they'll enjoy it.
So let's talk a little bit about the TG Sheppard Show. How did that all begin?
Well, I think because of my relationship and friendship with Elvis, J.R. Shulman at Sirius XM had been talking to me a few years, and before I signed on, to maybe do a show there, because he felt that I would have some stories and things that maybe hadn't been told about Elvis because of our friendship. And so the Elvis world is a different world than your world or my world or the people watching us now. The fans of Elvis are dyed-in-the-wool fans. They are so loyal to him. And so I felt that maybe I had some stories that they hadn't heard. And so after talking a couple of 2 or 3 years about doing a radio show on Sirius XM Elvis Radio, I finally said, well, the timing is now. George Klein, a dear friend of mine who had the time slot for many years on Elvis Radio, had passed. And I kind of wanted to pick up where he left off. And so I kind of got the baton passed to me. So it's been a great experience. It's given me something to do during COVID, to have my radio show each week. I've been very blessed to have had some great friends on there, like Barry Gibb and Olivia Newton-John, and of course my wife Kelly, and Lionel Richie. I mean, we've had everybody on the show, and it's fun to do every week.
Yeah, I seen you had John Travolta on there too.
Well, Kelly and I, he actually wasn't on the show, but Kelly and I met John through Olivia. Olivia Newton-John and Kelly are very close friends. And of course, Olivia is a friend of mine as well, but her and Kelly are very close, and she invited us to come to Florida. They were doing a Grease reunion concert with John and Olivia. And so we flew down and spent a couple of days down there and had a private dinner one night with John and Olivia. And it was just I can only tell you that he's one of the most down-to-earth people next to Elvis that I've ever met, that's in that stratosphere level of star. And he was just so kind to me. And we talked about urban cowboy days, because I worked in the beginning with Mickey Gilley and Johnny Lee on the Urban Cowboy Tour. So we had a lot in common there. He loves country music. So John was, he was on my bucket list to meet. And lo and behold, Kelly and I got to meet him. She even got to dance with him. So she was in heaven.
Yeah, Olivia's one that I've always wanted to have on the show. So maybe we could work that out.
Olivia is just one of those rare individuals. I mean, I'm talking to you today from home in the kitchen here, and Olivia and Barry Gibb, they've all been at this table at dinner at our home. We're very blessed to have some iconic people who are our friends. And I can truthfully tell you that the bigger the star, the more down to earth and sincere and humble they are. John, Olivia, you would love Olivia. She would love you too, Andrew.
Well, maybe we can get her on here sometime.
Well, ask Kelly. She talks to her all the time.
Well, I tell you what, I'll send her a message after we get done.
Okay.
But TG, it has been an honor having you on. Thank you so much for just being a friend. You're just, I look at you as a star myself, because I mean, you have been an influence and you are just a great guy, and Kelly is just amazing. So it is such an honor to be able to consider y'all friends.
Well, we feel the same way about you, Andrew. We're always here for you. All you have to do is pick up the phone and call us, and we're on with you anytime. But thank you, Andrew. I want you to stay safe, and hope to see you soon.
Yes, sir. God bless you, and I look forward to talking with you again sometime.
I hope so. Take care.
All right. Bye-bye.